Hello and welcome everyone. We're so excited to be here. My name is Sharon Ladenson. I'm from Michigan State University. I'm here with wonderful colleagues from Michigan State, Benjamin Oberdick, Sara Miller, and Cheryl Caesar, who will also be introducing themselves momentarily. And we are so excited to have you here with us for our presentation, Learning Community Partnerships, Strengthening Collaboration in a Post-Truth Era. Next slide, please. Again, I'm Sharon Ladenson. I'm Gender and Communication Studies librarian at Michigan State and really excited to be with you today.
Hi everyone, my name is Ben Oberdick. I am the head of teaching and learning at Michigan State University and very excited to talk with you all today.
Hi, I'm Sara Miller and I am the librarian for interdisciplinary teaching and learning initiatives at Michigan State University. And again, wonderful to be here.
And I'm Cheryl Caesar. I've been teaching writing at Michigan State for over 10 years now, and I specialize in second language learners. I'm very pleased as well.
So to begin with, what are learning communities? They have some key characteristics. They're cross-disciplinary. They provide a mechanism for sharing mutual interest and engaging in scholarship in the areas of teaching and learning. And they also provide a really valuable opportunity for librarians to deepen our role in partnering with department faculty to integrate information literacy into the curriculum. And cultivating information literacy partnerships is more important than ever, needless to say, given the increasing polarization and ubiquitous disinformation of the post-truth era. Next slide, please. So the Michigan State University Academic Advancement Network, which provides a support network for this program, also notes that learning communities provide supportive spaces for ongoing and very complex conversations about pedagogy and curriculum. The university has supported the Learning Community Program since 2004. Learning community groups at Michigan State facilitate highly interdisciplinary collaboration through bringing together participants from departments and programs across the entire university. And the Learning Community Program at Michigan State has become increasingly much more inclusive as the target audience has broadened from faculty, including librarians who have faculty status at Michigan State, to staff throughout the university. Next slide, please. And learning communities at Michigan State have explored a variety of pedagogical areas, such as discussion-based teaching approaches, including engaging students in difficult dialogues, as well as areas of reflective practice in teaching, including exploratory and transformative writing about teaching experiences. Some learning communities explore areas of identity, including sexual and gender identity. Other learning communities focus on teaching and learning in specific formats, such as online and blended learning. And various learning communities also incorporate the scholarship of teaching and learning into their work. And we will be sharing more details about our experiences in some of these communities during this presentation. Next slide, please. So what's so wonderful about learning communities is how they serve as a great equalizer for breaking down silos and building relationships across campus. Learning community participants are faculty from diverse units on campus, including from the library. They're also staff, including academic advisors, and they are also higher level administrators. Participants share a real genuine passion and enthusiasm for teaching and learn from each other about topics of shared interest, including facilitating an inclusive, learner-centered environment for teaching and learning. And building collegial partnerships through these learning communities has also led to really valuable professional development opportunities, such as collaborative conference presentations, including one in Puerto Rico, where Cheryl and I had the opportunity to present, hence the photo on the slide, and as well as team teaching opportunities and classroom observations. And we can go on to the next slide.
Thank you, Sharon. And one of the learning communities that I would like to highlight is my involvement with the Teaching with Technology blended and online learning community. So I was part of this community for around 5 years during the early part of my career at the MSU Libraries. And I really benefited a lot from being part of this group. It was made up, one, of a diverse group of teaching faculty, instructional designers, librarians, IT professionals from around campus. So it was a great way to get to know MSU and meet a lot of colleagues from around campus who who are working or interested in online and blended teaching and learning pedagogy. So our group met monthly to explore best practices and learning around online and blended teaching, including sharing helpful resources like different technology tools, articles, whatnot that people had, help with online instruction, discuss the creative use and understanding of our campus LMS, which at the time was Angel. We talked about things like discussion forums, navigation within the LMS, assessment, recording lectures, self-assessment. And one thing my role in the group allowed me was to, sort of bring up topics related to information literacy and sort of inject them into different discussions that we were having, and led to different collaborations with creating modules and videos related to information literacy within a discipline of the faculty I was working with. It also came in handy years later when the pandemic hit, and all of a sudden we had to move all of our teaching online, which for my team had all been face-to-face pretty much in the past, since most of the first-year writing classes that we work with are face-to-face classes. So this really helped, one, in just preparing me to be teaching information literacy sessions online for the first-year writing classes, but also helped as I was part of a team that worked with teaching faculty from around campus to move their courses online, since the vast majority of courses went online during the pandemic. So it was really helpful to get me prepared and comfortable with online teaching and learning and pedagogy related to that. Thank you.
The most recent faculty learning community in which I participated was focused on addressing our teaching through reflective writing. At each meeting, a member would present on a topic involving pedagogy and reflection and lead the group through reflective writing exercises. Most participants in this group primarily taught first-year writing courses, which involve a strong information literacy component, as students are asked to research and interact with outside sources in their writing. As part of my participation in the group, I presented on looking at information literacy development using intellectual and spiritual growth models. I asked the group to reflect back on their own growth as students learning information literacy, and to reflect on how those experiences impacted their current pedagogy. This exercise served two purposes. First, to help teaching faculty think about information literacy in light of the affective dimension, such as cognitive bias and emotions connected to interactions with information. And second, to help them rethink and revise their information literacy pedagogy in light of their perspectives. While the learning community was not specifically focused on information literacy, bringing this topic into the group served to position information literacy within the group's disciplinary context. The reflective writing group also frequently discussed anti-racist pedagogy, which is a unifying movement at MSU and in the US more broadly. These discussions helped us to make connections to diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI initiatives within curricula, and in particular, how those initiatives can be addressed through critical information literacy. My time in the group supported my work in using critical information literacy within science courses to help students think about which groups' voices are represented or not represented in information about scientific topics.
Thank you, Sara. Reflecting back on the last 10 years or so in learning communities, for me, they seem to fall into three categories, which I'll look at now. First of all, several of them were aids to reflection. And here, not just a shallow reflection on this or that teaching or grading method, but really a deeper look into ourselves as teachers, our backgrounds, our positionalities, our biases, our strengths and weaknesses, our personal narratives. And when I consider how this might enhance information literacy for both ourselves and our students, I'm reminded that Walter Cronkite no longer tells the country that's the way it is, as he did every evening when I was younger. We all consume information in bubbles now that are curated by Google or Facebook, and understanding ourselves, including our biases, helps us become more aware as information consumers, and it helps us aid our students in that same pursuit. The learning community that Sara just mentioned, Transforming Teaching Through Reflective Writing Experience, which has just completed its 4th year, spent the past spring semester reading and discussing key works of anti-racist pedagogy and DEI, taking the time to ponder and assimilate these texts and ideas ourselves before introducing them into our classrooms. Next slide, please. The second category encompasses discussion-based teaching, difficult topics, critical thinking for students. And these various learning communities, which ran for several years, serve to surface the concerns that instructors have with practices like discussion-based teaching, controversial topics, the potential for conflict in the classroom. How does this enhance information literacy? Well, we found that students, especially first-year students, often arrive thinking in terms of opinions, which they see as part of their identities. I'm a conservative. We'll just agree to disagree. And the systematic practice of critical thinking, often paired with discussion, helps them understand the difference between opinion and informed knowledge, as Sensoy and D'Angelo put it in their latest work, Is Everyone Really Equal? The practice of discussion-based learning also helps students to share these informed opinions in a respectful and truthful manner. And then last slide for me, please. Then the Adams Academy Learning Community, Adams 2.0, for graduates of the Adams Academy, which was a 1-year curriculum engaged in topics of tertiary education. This one, I would say, was focused mainly on the scholarship of teaching and learning. And it took perhaps a broader view in some ways by looking at the university and its culture and its lore as a whole. We perform one university-wide survey every year on themes like the strengths and needs of faculty, or developing an effective peer observation instrument, or the faculty experience during the pandemic. And I believe this enhances information literacy because it works with institutional knowledge, MSU as a whole, not your program or mine, or my department, or my college. It lets us compare, contrast, and get a big view of the entire university, thus breaking down information silos between disciplines, departments, programs, and colleges. Thank you.
The benefits from learning communities and an information literacy focus are many. They include learning about the practical aspects of pedagogy, teaching methods, and online learning experiences, introducing information literacy concepts into interdisciplinary conversations in deeper and more meaningful ways, providing a conduit for connecting the research, teaching, and service aspects of our work, and building personal connections that enhance meaning and creativity in our experiences as librarians and disciplinary faculty. Overall, integrating with learning communities helps us as librarians and teaching faculty actualize information literacy as not just a skill set, but a way of understanding our disciplines, our work as educators, and the world at large. Thank you.
And thank you so much, everyone. We, again, are so excited to be here, and we look forward to your questions.